I think we're live now, so welcome.
Awesome. Welcome,
Hi there.
everybody. Hi. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I think we'll be seeing a few more people join us shortly. Um, Thanks for joining us on this Zapaygo webinar, The Best Kept ICO Secret. And I am Prem Johal. I'm an external consultant to Zapaygo. I'm not part of the core team. And with me today, I have Dennis Collette, who is an external advisor also to Zapaygo. And we also have the lovely Lauren, Lauren Hall. She will be reading up on your messages. And if there are any questions, please, guys, think of any questions you may have and please put them in the chat box so we can try and answer as best as possible at this stage. Now, I will hand over to Dennis, but I just wanted to quickly touch on this. Dennis is the second person in Zapaygo that I have ever met. This was back in November, December last year. And we spoke about even longer than that. All right, well, okay. Seems like yesterday, Dennis. So we met at the Institute of Directors in London, where I was first introduced to Zapaygo. And Dennis gave me the confidence I needed. Yes, of course, Elliot Hall is the CEO. It's his project, his baby. He's been working at it for a number of years. But then comes along a professional like Dennis who breaks it down the way me, an ex-banker, needs to hear it. Even ex-bankers take advice from consultants who then break down a company and say, this is why, this is how, this is when. And that is to me personally, that's one of the main reasons I was convinced that this is a viable, solid project. So without further ado, I'll just hand over to Dennis. Dennis, maybe you want to introduce yourself, a little bit of your professional background and how you got involved with Zapaygo. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thanks for that kind introduction, Prem. Really kind words. Thank you. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Well, I'm Dennis. You will hear from my accent. I'm not British. I'm not from here. I just think I have to bring some efficiency into Zapaygo because that's what we're known for. Bram has this joke that I'm actually the voice of one of these cartoon characters. We're gonna leave it at this. There's no point for you guys asking. I will not share it. Either you figure it out, or yeah, that's another kept secret then. So, but back to Zapaygo and my professional background. I also an ex-banker, so I started my career here in London for ABN AMRO before RBS took us over, and I worked in various different strategy teams. And then at some point, I wanted to see the other side, and I joined one of the big four, EY in this case, in their advisory team, FS, Financial Services Advisory. And I spent a good 4 or 5 years in consulting for banks. At one point, I was tired of the suit and the tie, and I launched my own tech business, which was, funny enough, a mobile ordering and payment platform. So ringing a bell in a bit. It was 2013, very early on, and I mean, I loved that space. At some point, it was time for us to look really at the next thing. I moved and did some finance advisory again, and then it was, I think, April last year, when someone from another big four contacted me and said, hey, one of our clients, they want to talk to you. And I mentioned that I know you personally, and because you have done something similar in the past. Well, and then I said, okay, I can have a chat with them. I'm not sure if I want to go in that space. And then I met Elliot, and Elliot is very persistent, very, very persistent. So after 2 meetings, I found myself on board, and I joined, I got really involved in July last year, and especially helped on the design and the thinking and the strategy for the rewards platform. And it was really key for me that when I heard, okay, they're doing the ICO, I was like, okay, so what is that token for? But I think that's really where we start looking at it and decoupling. So it's basically it. I've been now 12 years here in London. It's my home. Let's see what happens with Brexit, but you can't kick me out that quickly. So I'm here to stay.
Awesome. Nobody will send you away. You bring so much value, Dennis. Now, would it be right to say you are the tokenomist? And for some of our viewers, it's a relatively new concept. What is tokenomics, broadly speaking, not specific to Zapaygo, but can you just tell us something more about, or share your knowledge with us instead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, people talk about token economics, and there's so many different definitions and how to define it. If it's like how many tokens and the price and the circulation. I mean, for me, keep it really simple. It is basically that ecosystem. I mean, your token should be used in an ecosystem. That's for me. What is the value of the token? What happens once that token is in circulation? How do you ensure that it's either stable, that you increase value, that you can use that, almost that bloody token, but yes, that you can use that token. And I've been involved in blockchain since 2014. Hence, when I moved with Zapaygo, I really want to look at that side. But it's not just the token economics I'm looking at. It's really that rewards marketing platform, because it's an integral part for our ICO, and that's where we're going to use our utility token. So the utility token, I think you touched on it before, will be exclusively used on the rewards marketing platform. And that is the ecosystem that we're building for that token. And that is the token economics that will be built. And I can give you some examples in a bit regarding the value and the use cases for the token and the different parts of, let's say, our token economics. But let's go into some details. And if you have any particular questions.
All right, we'll look forward to some of the questions coming through towards the end of this call. It'll be a fairly short call. Guys, we were actually expecting 2 other people to be on board, but for various reasons they couldn't make it. So I'm actually really glad Dennis is here because, as I said before, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have bought a ton of these tokens yourself with your own money, yes?
Yeah, I do. I did, yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I like the token. I love the whole concept of the utility token. And I mean, this is interesting. It's maybe a bit controversial. Everyone says utility tokens is dead. For me, that's rubbish. It makes so much sense. If you do have a use case, if you do build a community, if you build an ecosystem, and it has to be a closed ecosystem. And so how our token works, or Zap, on the rewards platform is that on that platform, brands and participating venues, retailers, merchants, like a restaurant, a pub, they can offer and post any special deals, discounts, whether it's a pound off a burger, whether it's a free soft drink with a meal, a pound off a pint, or from a different brand, it could be you win a VIP experience with Heineken. Whatever it is, any brand that we work with can post their discounts, their offers on the platform. And in order to do that, they have to pay us with a token. Every particular single individual offer is one token. And we keep it very, very simple. A brand, they want to offer only one discount, let's say, and it can be redeemed or bought only once by only one person. They pay us one token. One Zap. If they want to post 100 offers, it's 100 tokens. Okay, so now the brands need tokens to post. Then the consumers who are part of Zapaygo, they go on the market rewards platform. They say, hey, I like that voucher. Yeah, I like that discount. They buy that particular discount with, come on, Brian, you want to guess how many tokens? One. Yes, you got it. So again, keep it simple, one token. So no matter what the offer is, if it's £5 off or £1 off, the voucher is one token. So keep it very simple. Again, so now you have the supply side, the brands or the venues, they offer their products, and you have the demand side, the consumers, be buying these discounts. And now it's really important. You can only do that with a ZAP token, and not with cash, not with any fiat currency, other cryptocurrency, nothing. It is the Zapaygo, the ZAP utility token. So now you basically, the consumer is actually buying an underlying voucher of the discount. As soon as you buy it, it will be put in your Zapaygo wallet or voucher side. You go to the venue, you order your pint, boom, it applies that particular voucher for you. So again, that way you redeem the voucher. And if you see that, is we kind of can control the demand and the supply side. So now we also have in our token economics, back to that point, is in the distribution, a large chunk, I believe, top of my head, is 19% of the tokens will be reserved for an incentives pool. So we could give tokens to venues when they sign up for Zapaygo to give free to their customers or for brands. And when we see that there are too many offers on our platform and not enough uptake, not enough consumers that wanted these vouchers, these discounts, we can then start circulating these vouchers more on the consumer side. And since we kind of receive most of the tokens, we also want to burn 50% of the tokens that we receive on that side, of which then on the remaining 50%, 25 we want to put back into the system, and 25 we hold back. So which means at one point there will be less tokens, which in a basic economics means that the price should theoretically go up. And at the same time, more people come on board, more brands will come on board. And for me, I'm quite excited about this Zapaygo rewards marketing platform because I see it as a user acquisition tool for Zapaygo. So everyone loves discounts. I mean, why would I pay some price if I can get it cheaper? So they want to have access to that rewards platform. Well, in order to play there, you need to be a Zapaygo customer and you need ZAPs. And that's how we create the demand. Simple.
Fantastic. So if I just use a little bit of blockchain terminology, you know, when people talk about Bitcoin, they talk about how it is decentralized. No one person has complete control and the whole world. That's why even the blockchain is referred to as the distributed ledger, because it's distributed all over the world and nobody can interfere with or make a false transaction and get away with it, for example. But those aren't the only ways in which cryptocurrency or the blockchain really work. Zapaygo is a perfect example of how you can actually have a centralized system and then just keep adding more and more venues, more and more users, more and more. But you need a centralized control of it because its purpose is not to be money, but to be a lesser substitute. A discount is not money in itself. A discount simply means you're spending less. So one way I would describe it, and everybody I'm sure will understand it very clearly, if you're booking a holiday package or a flight, you often get discount codes and you have to type those codes in or you copy paste those codes. Now, instead of that code, if it was a token, that it doesn't just, you just don't enter it and your price drops somehow, but you use the token and that's why your price drops. And then on the back end, the company actually collects those tokens back. As Dennis said, we'll be taking those tokens back because they go out into the public and back to us one way or the other, and they go out again back to us one way or the other. In creating this circulation, you are creating a lesser substitute for your pound sterling, US dollars, euros, and all other currencies. Zapaygo is not meant to be, the tokens are not meant to be a currency in and of themselves. That's why they're referred to as tokens. They're meant to be the hook that brings in people, because everybody loves a discount, especially everybody wants to go out. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, you need a change in your life and you go out, and if you see that, okay, well, here I'm getting a discount, if only I had Zapaygo tokens, I could actually avail myself of that discount. Can I just ask, Dennis, would it be too much to say, we're not going to repeat that discussion we had at the Institute of Directors, because I was puzzled, like less than 1 cent worth of token becomes $1. Okay, that's a lot. Dennis said, well, actually, it's a lot, could be a lot more than that. I was like, really? Could be a lot more than $1? Now, we don't want to stress on that point, but I think it's important to know that because some of the tokens will be burnt, there'll be less and less available, but then there's more and more demand out there because more and more people using the discounts. How confident are you, Dennis, when it comes to the partners we've already got signed on, the circulation almost being assured? Well, would you like to touch on that a little bit? If you just touch on that, please.
Yeah. So again, if you look at, I mean, you can call it token economics, but if you look at it and if you see the rewards platform as a user acquisition tool, so now look at it from a brand side. So the consumer, if I get an offer and there's a $1 off, or a pound off, or £2 off, whatever it is, that's kind of the theoretical value of that token. For a brand and for a merchant or for a retailer, for a venue, it is a user acquisition cost. So pubs and bars, they spend about between 8 and 13 pounds on average for consumer acquisition cost. Now they can get it with a Zap token. So it's far, far less. Again, so we are just interacting here also on the marketing side for them. Brands, on the other hand, they're actually spending between 12 and 17 pounds per user acquisition. So this is a really interesting fact, because what that means is that the tokens are worth much more for a brand or for a venue than what we set is the minimum redemption value. You know, the dollar you just touched upon. I mean, we did also $1 because it's the whole thing calculated in dollars, but let's face it, it will be at least a pound. I mean, it doesn't make sense to take 78 cents of a pint. So if you look at it from the UK perspective, it should be like a pound off, for example. But again, so the consumer, okay, I have a token. Either I can redeem it for a pound or I sell it. So what is the theoretical value is getting close to a pound. It won't be a pound in that case because of some transaction costs, etc. But we'll get close to that. However, the brands now say, hey, wait, that token is worth much more to me because I can use it for customer acquisition. So yeah, I think that is again something why the whole thing why I'm excited about this rewards platform. It is not only the users that we can gain, it is some amazing marketing we can do from a brand perspective. Again, don't forget, the vouchers that the consumer is buying, these underlying vouchers, they redeem them on the Zapaygo platform. So which means we have this transactional data. And so we know what someone is buying at what time and where. We know that brand likes his pints at 5 o'clock, at 7 o'clock the gin tonics come out, at 9 o'clock the Jägermeister, and then it just goes downhill from there. But you see what I mean? It's you're really providing insights and real insights for brands. But not only that, you can influence the consumer at point of purchase. So let's assume again, you go use Zapaygo, you put two pints in, and I mean you can use any brand name, but let's say you put 2 Heinekens in, and then out of the sudden an offer flies in from Carlsberg, yeah, by this one. So again, you get the consumer at point of purchase. You can do impulse purchases. We can do brand positioning. And I think about it like a supermarket shelving system. The premium brands are always at eye level, eye side. So now we put the premium lagers on top, or whoever works with us. So it has a huge pull for brands. And I mean, so Elliot has touched upon it. It has been long in the waiting. He has been working tirelessly on actually securing all these deals. However, you need to be live. You need to be able to use the app. You need to be able to use the token. And that is, it's a lot of work. For me, the key thing is get the Zapaygo out, get the app working, as in people ordering, building the Zapaygo, the rewards platform to add on to the token. And then it's really the rollout. But it's not going to be a walk in the park. You know, there is a lot of work waiting, and it's an exciting time, but it needs some real push.
Awesome. So yes, you're right. There is no free lunch, so effort needs to go in. There's still a bit of work left. I'm sure of that. But I'll just paraphrase this the way I understand it, right? Let's say you're a company selling a specific type of burger. Let's say it's one of the new burger chains, right? vegan burgers or whatever, right? And you want more and more customers buying your stuff. That means for each customer, you have to advertise in different ways. You have to position your brand in a certain way. And the average cost for one new person coming on board, let's say, is $10, right? Just keep it simple numbers. 10 US bucks is the cost of bringing a new customer to your mass market brand. If you can accomplish that with a Zapaygo token worth one, you're going to think, hang on a minute, I'm saving $9 here in acquiring new customers. Why don't I put my brand into Zapaygo and get the world to buy my burgers and instantly acquire a mass of volume of people coming in at 10% of the original cost? So to that vegan burger brand, whatever new company it may be, to them, a Zapaygo token is really worth more than $1, but they're spending less than 10. So somewhere in between that would be the actual brand's own valuation of the token, which is completely different from what people like you and me are thinking. Oh, 1 cent will become $1. That's like a huge return for me. Well, actually, what the thing is, the tokens you are holding right now, the tokens you will buy in our system now at this current discounted rate, are actually worth even more than $1. But the company set them at a minimum redemption value of $1 to give some kind of relativity for people to understand this is worth $1. It's actually going to be worth a lot more, I believe. So with that, thanks for answering those, Dennis. If I could just ask Lauren if we have any questions, because we'll maybe do it for another 5-10 minutes at the most.
Sure, yeah. Question from Bill: is there any other competition in the mobile app space?
In mobile ordering and payment, I mean, yes, there are trying it. I think, as mentioned earlier, I think that since 2013, I've seen a lot of companies come and go. Because there's a lot of sometimes some techies or some students that have an idea. From the consumer side, everyone gets the use case. But the key differentiator here with Zapaygo is the quality of the advisory board, of the management team, and of the deal, especially the exclusivity data you mentioned earlier. It is really, you need to get to scale here. It's the same concept with the likes of Just Eat, Deliveroo. The ones that are up to scale, that's winning. It's really key here. They're looking at payment platforms as well. Some people say that PayPal might be a competitor. I think, well, could be in a way, but they actually have a different strategy, and we could be on the PayPal app so integrated. We have talked to them already. I've done it in the past. Then actually all the Zapaygo would then be on their app as well. We're using a web-based version of it, and the checkout is with PayPal in that case. But we are agnostic in terms of payments. We don't care how someone checks out. We want to have secure payment methods, but we want to offer as many as possible. Apple Pay, debit, credit card, all these bits will be then offered PayPal, Google Pay, etc. So for us, the payment side is not something that we're reinventing on that side. It's more putting these different parts together.
Awesome. Any others, Lauren?
Yeah, Bill again. So, are there any other blockchain or ICO companies doing something similar?
I'm not aware of something. I think I know after the correct reason.
Sorry, you're breaking up, Dennis. Look, do you want to lift up your foot?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay.
Okay, can I just point out something there? Bill, thanks for those questions. The way I see it is a lot of companies have come and gone for the simple reason that they start a business model and then they go looking for customers. And I have not yet come across any other company that is confidently able to say we've got the customer base already taken care of. We just have to build the infrastructure now. So it's the horse before the cart thing. We have put the horse, which is the customer that is going to ultimately drive the system, before the cart rather than the other way around. And the companies that fail have usually got it the other way around. That's one aspect. The second part, Bill, I know where you're getting at, like what is industry level threat? For example, if a new tokenized system was to roll out, I can tell you there's been a number of different opportunities out there that have tried to claim that we're going to introduce this pay, that pay, the other pay type of system. They wanted to have an exclusive payment system, and we're hoping that their membership base would somehow take it out to the world. This is the exact opposite, as Dennis just mentioned. It's not confirmed, but sometime it is possible. It doesn't matter if you're paying using PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, or any of the other existing platforms, as long as our tokens are able to float through that system and make a transaction happen, then it doesn't really matter. So what Elliot said before, we are not competing with any other payment system. We are a complement to them and an added facility that they should be happy to take on board on the basis of the large customer base. That is the horse before the cart. Am I right in saying that, Dennis?
Absolutely. And just add on funding here. I mean, you need to be well funded, and I think that's really key. And don't forget, it is again, consumer acquisition cost is just huge for a business like Zapaygo because it's a marketplace. So you have to get the venues and the consumers. Now with rewards, we're actually making money on it. I mean, we're really turning it around.
Okay, next question from Marcus. Who do I have to speak to if I can get a discount for buying £50,000 worth of tokens?
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot. Okay. Bill again.
Marcus, can I just point out, Marcus, if it is your own money going in, by all means, talk to Elliot. He's very, very approachable in the Telegram group. If not, get in touch with one of us, and we will connect you with Elliot in case he's busy or whatever. But this has to be taken seriously, 50,000 or anything like that. And I think if any person is willing to take on a challenge, and if you can raise a significant amount of token buyers, I'm sure Elliot would like to have a little private chat. We have this tiered bonus program already in place to reward our members who are helping us to spread the word and bring token buyers to the system. But I think it's important to recognize that some people may actually be high performers as well. And if they're able to challenge themselves, I'm sure Elliot would like to hear about that as well. So get in touch. All of us are available to talk. Sorry about that, Lauren. Back to you.
No, I think that's it. That wraps it up.
All right, cool. So I think we're done.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Bram. Okay. Thanks, Lauren.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lauren. We'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.